stifling a most troubling thought. Al had a difficult time all day trying to keep his mind on his job. Cutting through the semantic talk about God loving everyone, the truth was that whatever kind of love Calvinism credited God with toward the non-elect, it wasn't genuine enough to really desire their salvation. And that meant it wasn't love at all, in spite of MacArthur and Piper writing entire books to try to prove that offering salvation to those whom God has specifically excluded from salvation is sincere and loving. It made Al angry every time he thought of the hypocrisy of moderate Calvinists claiming that God sincerely loved those he had predestined to eternal torment when he could have included them among the elect just as well as others. Those they criticized as hyper-Calvinists were simply honest enough to admit the truth. Even if God's common grace gave the entire world to someone he could have saved, but instead consigned to eternal flames, there was no way to call that love. Well, this was a general flaw in Calvinism that he had never seen before. Now it was clear. What God was this that the Calvinists of all kinds believed in? Al could believe in such a God no longer. Was he becoming an atheist? He knew that couldn't be right. But the temptation to reject God altogether took hold of him and was frightening. After his conversion, Al had become a strong believer in the necessity of apologetics. Reared in Roman Catholic schools, he had been taught that evolution was true. In university, a debate about evolution between a Christian geneticist and a professor in the same field first started him on an investigation that ultimately played a vital role in his conversion to Christ. He had carefully weighed a great deal of evidence, and found that it all pointed to the validity of the Bible and Christianity. As a Calvinist, however, he had lost his interest in apologetics. Some of his Calvinist friends from the study group were heavily into apologetics. But what was the point? The elect needed no evidence or persuasion, and it would do the non-elect no good. For a time he felt somewhat confused and even guilty over his change of mind. But that dissipated when a fellow Calvinist, who had been in it longer than he, pointed out from Calvin's Institutes where such an attitude was justified.